Welcome to our second video in our series on installing a VMware vSphere lab within VMware Workstation. In this video, we'll learn how to clone a VM. It's important to clone VMs or clone VMs from a template because it will save us a lot of time in the long run. Little work up front for a lot of benefit in the back end. So we're going to first take a snapshot of our VM. We're doing this for two reasons. One, if we mess up the process, we use the power of VMware Workstation to back out of that mistake. And two, it gives us the ability to create clones either based on the original VM that we're setting up or on the VM or on our template. So we're going to name this pre-sysprep. And we're going to use a standard tool that comes out of the box with Windows Server to prepare a server for cloning, and it is the Microsoft sysprep tool. So we're going to run that, and we're going to choose the out of the box experience option, and we're going to choose to shut down the system after that, because then we'll be ready to actually create the template. Now the image is actually ready to be cloned, but a little bit of housekeeping. I like a lot of Jonathan's recommendations for organization, so we're going to create a folder called templates, and we're going to move our server template into that folder. We create another folder called labs, and when we create our clone, we're going to put it in that folder. So if we right click on our server template, we can go to clone, walk through the wizard, and this is the point. If the server was powered down, we could choose to clone from the snapshot, but of course we want the sysprep version of the server. And we get two options: create linked clone or create full clone. The difference between the two: if I create a linked clone, that means that the new VM will just create a delta file between the original VM file, VMDK file, and the cloned VMDK file. This saves a ton of disk space. My advice, which is a little bit different than what Jonathan put on his blog post, this is an exception where I would have that server template file on the SSD. So similar in the VDI environment, if we have a bunch of clones reading off of the same set of VMDKs, if that's on an SSD, then my experience in VMware Workstation is that you'll see a much bigger performance gain opposed to having it on your spinning disk if you have a system with multiple disks, as I do. So we're going to go ahead and create a linked clone. We're going to name the linked clone. And this is going to be our domain controller, so we'll name it something along the lines of virtualized VG DC01. And again, I would recommend putting this probably on a FAT disk. It really wouldn't matter much, especially if you have the base file on the SSD. And we'll move it to our labs folder. And that's it. The clone is complete. We can boot that up, and then we'll walk through the initial Windows configuration, and we're all set to create the domain controller in our next post. Thanks.